Welcome back to the Poker News coverage of European Poker Tour here in Prague. I am with Maria Konnikova, and Maria, you're one of the first people who won a Platinum Pass back at PCA this year, which is almost a year ago now, which is crazy.
I know, it's so insane. I think I was person number 8, and I was the first female. And then followed shortly by Maria Lampropoulos. So two Marias very close together.
From PCA, you guys are going. How are you preparing for 25K? Are you still prepping with Seidel? Is the training any different than these 1K, 2K, 5K events?
Yeah, so I am indeed still prepping with Erik, and I'm working more with solvers just because I roll my eyes too, just because I know that the players that I'll be playing with there use them a lot. I played 125K to kind of try to make my way there, and I've played a few more 10Ks than I normally play. And otherwise, just doing a lot of studying and trying to work on my game as much as I can, and also remember to have fun.
Right. Well, yeah. Fun, yeah. Well, especially if you cash the 25K, it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's going to be amazing, right? Yeah. But I'm not going for the cash. I'm going for the final table. Come on.
Of course. No. So when you're trying these new, like, solvers and stuff, a lot of times it's sort of like more advanced than a recreational player who's playing a 1K. Yeah. So you think, does it sometimes hold you back a little in these bigger fields because you're sort of thinking at such a higher level than the average poker player?
You know, I don't think so, because the way I use solvers is not necessarily to try to play exactly like that, but to understand kind of theoretically what I should be doing in certain spots. It helps me find bluffs. It helps me feel more confident in my bluffs because I don't feel like I'm bluffing, right? I know that I'm supposed to do this with this hand this percent of the time, so I'm just playing the way I'm supposed to. So I think it's more for experience and confidence. But here I try not to overthink it. You know, if a player is just going crazy and hasn't gone crazy before, even if I'm supposed to call with this hand, I'm folding.
All right, so on that sort of topic, you played in a lot of different places now. Yeah. What do you think about, do you think there's a psychology between like where you're from geographically and how you play poker?
Absolutely, absolutely. I definitely think that people from different countries play differently, and I think that people play differently against women from different countries because they have different attitudes towards women. So I definitely notice differences when I'm playing, especially like there's a big global difference between playing in the US and playing in Europe.
And what is that?
Playing in China, like Macau is totally different again.
So what have you seen as the most glaring difference between, let's say, China, Eastern Europe, and U.S.?
Come on, I'm not going to tell you all my secrets for the interview.
Wait for the buck. Wait for the buck.
I mean, there are differences in aggression. There are differences in aggression towards women specifically. And there are differences in how much respect I get at the table. I actually had a very funny experience recently in Montreal, which is mostly American players and Canadians, who I basically, sorry Canadians, I kind of just lump you in together with the Americans. But I had a really funny experience because PCA footage from last year was just aired, and I was on the feature table, so a lot of people saw me play, and a lot of really good players were in Montreal who'd watched it. And all of a sudden, I was like, oh shit, like they are value betting me so thin because they know I'm willing to call them down. And so the first day I got just massacred by good players who'd seen that because they saw that so many people were bluffing me and I was calling down thin. And so then I realized now I have to readjust to them and start folding more or start adjusting my strategy again. I never want to be on a TV table again. That was terrible. I don't want anyone to know how I play.
Well, it's really funny because during the World Series, there was a lot of talk about Phil Ivey, who kept, didn't want to be at the feature table and actually hit his cards. And now you sort of, once you're on the other end of it, you sort of understand what, he's not getting paid to be there. Why give away the free information?
Yep, that's absolutely right. So I totally understand. I mean, Erik got into a lot of, not trouble, but people were mad at the beginning of televised poker when he often wouldn't show his whole cards, but now I totally get it. I love having the information on other players, so I'm just like, yes, please, more feature table coverage. Just don't put me on it. It's very, you like it when it's not you, right?
Exactly. You like it when you can use it to your own advantage.
Exactly.
So here at Prague, there is no feature table. There's sort of just the updates. Is that easier for you when you normally play? Are you watching the featured table? You're trying to get information, especially deep in a tournament?
Yeah, it's different because whenever I'm playing and there is a feature table, I do try to watch the coverage. So like when I go home at night, I try to watch a little bit because these are the people you're playing with. And so it's one less thing to have to worry about. So in some ways it's good.
So now you have a little more free time. Let me get in your brain. What are you reading? What are you watching? What are you listening to?
Well, I don't have actually much more free time just because I'm really trying to work hard for the PCA and really prep as much as I can. So yesterday I actually did take a day off and walked around Prague. That was really nice. But then, I came back at like 3 p.m. and did some PSLVA work, went over hands from the prior day, and actually, just did what I would normally do. So
A+ student.
I know. I'm watching lots of great movies on this awesome channel called Poker Go. It's lots of feature films. They go on for hours and hours and hours.
Yes, it feels so raw and real.
It does. I mean, the actors are really in it. There's some real emotion there.
Just total lack of emotion.
Or total lack of emotion. That's right. They're well cast.
All right. Well, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. And I guess I have one more question.
Yeah.
If you do go deep in the 25K, you cash or, obviously win. Does this mean a whole new year or two of poker for you?
Well, I'm definitely playing at least for one more year. And then I'm playing until the book comes out. And then we'll see. I'm still enjoying it. I'm still having a blast. I'm still learning a lot. And while those things are true, I don't see myself going anywhere. As soon as that stops being true, we'll stop and reevaluate.
So when is that book supposed to come out?
Exactly. Yeah.
I was like, wait, I didn't miss a release date, right? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, no release date.
Well, the more deeper you get in tournaments, the more there's to write about. So let's the book gets longer and longer.
But I am working really hard on finishing the book, and I do hope to finish it early this coming year.
All right. Well, great. Good luck to you in this tournament and future tournaments. And of course, stay tuned to PokerNews.com for all your updates.
Thanks.